I believe if you spend your whole life to yourself, for yourself, you have no purpose of being here. They don't know the difference between being, can I call names on here?
Absolutely.
Okay. Andrew Tate. For one thing, my problem with the feminist movement is why God gave two very special gifts to mankind. The first one was a woman, and the second was, I think it's degrading to women to try to be the same as a man is. But I think, like everything else, I think it could be taken to the point that men just become weak. And brother, let me tell you, in this day and age, we don't need more weak men. You have no clue the burdens and the hell that most men are carrying inside and not even showing you.
I've heard you say that a good man is born to serve, not born to make money.
Absolutely.
What's that mean to you?
Well, if I make money, and I've heard all excuses because there's guys who have a problem with me saying that. All right. But if I make money for me. Now I've got, my wife definitely benefits from it. And, my children, although they're grown, they benefit from it. But ultimately in the end, if I'm pour all my life into making money, that's for me, but if I pour my life into as many people as is fitting, and I don't know, their life is better for me having come through. I want, and I'll never know, in some tiny way, what means the most to me is that when you leave here today, in some small way, your life is better for us having sat down and talked. That means more. And so we're, I think we are. I think a real man is born to serve. And serve means provide for those that are in your sphere of you to provide for. It means to protect. It means to encourage. It means to teach and to train. And sometimes it means to step back and let them hit the wall. Sometimes the best service you can do for somebody is to, when it's all done, walk up and look down and say, did that hurt? That's what they needed. But we won't do that because it makes us look bad. And even in our service to others, we do it for ulterior motives, but yes, I believe that very strongly. I believe if you spend your whole life to yourself, for yourself, you have no purpose of being here. This planet is not in any way better for you having been here.
Is that what a good man is to you?
That's what a good man is to me. When my wife and we've moved, we've lived all over, but it's been a thing of ours. When we leave, we try to leave the house in some way better than when we found it. And that's how I approach life. Is like when people come across my path, I try to leave their life a little better than when I found it. And you know what? That may be just looking at that poor, tired lady checking out at Walmart with the sore feet and the glazed over eyes and looking her in the eye and say, how are you doing today? It don't take much, but it's like, I guarantee in some small way, her life was a little better when I passed through that Walmart line than it was before I got there. And yeah, I think that's a good man. A good man is a man who can protect and who can provide and who can serve, who can comfort, who can reprimand, who can discipline, whatever's necessary to make the world a little better because he passed through.
There's been a lot of talk about crisis of masculinity, role models for men in the modern world, the multiplicity of backgrounds that guys are coming from, the unseen fatherlessness epidemic that we had, which has created a vacuum that's required people like you to step in as surrogate patriarchs. Right. What are you hearing from the guys in your audience? What are they often asking? What are they coming to you? What are the problems that they're dealing with mostly?
Relationships. Girls. They were not raised They were not raised with a dad who said, hey, this is how you treat a lady. This is how, when girls talk and they say this, what they actually mean is this. And I'm not talking about no means no, but I'm talking about, I don't know. You don't have to get me something to eat when you go get something. I don't want anything. But and so young men these days were never taught by another man how to treat a lady like a lady. And they go into a relationship, girlfriends, marriages, getting all their information from Hollywood. And it's a crash and burn because they don't understand relationships. They don't understand communication. They don't understand the balance between being a man and being a bore, being a buffoon, being a tyrant. They don't know the difference between being, can I call names on here?
Absolutely.
Okay. Andrew Tate. Okay. Or some little milksop over here. You got the two extremes and they can't find that place in the middle. The biggest thing by far is relationships.
What is your advice from 34 and a bit years of marriage and negotiating with a woman from Venus? What is your advice to young guys on how they can treat a lady better and understand them?
Treat her like she's special. I mean, for one thing, my problem with the feminist movement is why in the Sam Hill was something as special and wonderful as a woman want to be equal with a man. Why do you want to bring yourself down to that level? As a Christian, God gave two very special gifts to mankind. The first one was a woman, and the second was Jesus Christ. Okay, you can teach an ape to work construction. You cannot teach an ape to raise human children. I think it's degrading to women to try to be the same as a man is, okay? Treat them special. And secondly is communicate, all right? If you don't understand what they're saying, if you're confused, sit down and gently say, look, I'm sorry. I don't understand. I don't understand what you're feeling. I don't understand, but I'd love to understand if you can help me. And just sit down and communicate. Just listen to them. A lot of times they just want somebody to listen to them. They don't want you to fix it. They just want you to listen to them while they take all this boiling stuff inside their head and put it out so they can actually hear it. And sometimes that helps them sort out all these thoughts that's in their head. They need to just put it out so they can hear it. And they don't need you to demean them by saying, okay, I'll fix this. Just listen to them.
There's a quote from Timothy Leary that says, women who aspire to be equal with men lack ambition.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that, but I agree with it. I'm like, I get up and give you my seat because I think you're special, not because I think you're my equal. A guy comes in, he's 57 years old, he's physically equal to me, he's on my, I'm not going to get up and give him my seat, all right? So I give you my seat not because I think you're my equal. If you're my equal, you can stand just like I do. I give you my seat because you're special.
What about the reverse? What do you wish more women knew about how men operated?
There's 10,000 times more going on inside the head of a man than you have any idea. He's carrying burdens that you don't have a clue about, and he don't know how to express them, and he don't know what to do about it, and he figures if he puts it out there and communicates it, he's just going to be shot down, called a fool, called weak, so he carries it inside, and you have no clue the burdens and the hell that most men are carrying inside and not even showing you. I wish more women understood that.
What do you think about the balance when it comes for men between strength and softness, rationality, emotionality, rigidity, vulnerability, I think that's a balance that a lot of men struggle with. I still think that the conversation around emotions, around being open, whether it's with your friends or a partner or even yourself. You literally denied yourself going to the doctor for a heart attack. Like the male ability to deny that things are wrong, whether they're physical or emotional, is like a reality distorting power that we all have.
Right.
How do you come to think about that balance between the hardness and the softness in men?
I'm still old school. I'm still very old school. Now there comes a point where it can be debilitating to those around me. Okay. If I bottle everything up inside so that I get to the point that I am toxic or debilitating to those around me, then I need to get some help. But as long as I'm not, I don't need to add more burden for them to carry. That's just me.
Can you be a bit more specific about what that is, how that shows up for you?
My wife has been encouraging me for a while now for me to go and talk to somebody. Just there's years and years and years of, there were a lot of rough years there. But I'm like, I can't do that. I know the guy gets paid to sit there and, but it's just not necessary, I'm still old enough and I'm of the school. It's like, just deal with it.
Suck it up.
I broke 3 ribs one time in a barn, saddling horses, horse threw a fit, took 8 aspirin and got on that horse and did a 4-hour ride because I had a job to do. It's my job. Now, I know, let's go back to balance. Okay.
I was about to mention that.
I understand. I'm with you 100%. But at the same time, your balance and my balance and his balance are different. And so I think a man has to find his own balance. And you're going to get so many messages on here disagree with this. But I think that this thought of men's mental health, emotional health, go get help, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's out of place, but I think like everything else, I think it could be taken to the point that men just become weak. And brother, let me tell you, in this day and age, we don't need more weak men. Now when your internal battles come to the point that you need help because they have weakened you, then get help, But I think everybody's balance is different. And I fear there was a problem for years on this side, but I fear just like everything else, with that subject being pushed the way it is, we're going to get out of balance on the other side. And it's like, and everybody needs therapy for everything.
This is the nuance, I think, around what we were talking about, type A problems, type B problems.
Right.
Because it's easy to just take that as one single meal on a plate as opposed to multiple different pieces.
Right.
Or a onesie that you put on as opposed to an outfit that's piecemeal and put together. So there's a British writer called Matthew Syed who's coming on the show soon. And the interesting thing about tennis as a sports reporter is that you had 3 phenomenal world champions all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You had Nadal, you had Djokovic, and you had Federer. And he used to go to Wimbledon and he would see how they were warming up. And each had a different approach. So he'd go and see Nadal and he's just raw aggression, his top's off and he's hitting the ball as hard as he could and he's sort of just fury. And then he'd go and see Djokovic and he's like a robot. And this guy's precise, precision, rationality. Then he'd go and see Federer and he's playing trick shots. He's laughing and he's having fun and he's sort of flirting with the ball girls and stuff like that. And each of these guys have won titles while all of them have been playing, and they've traded places, some on this court, some on a different type of surface, etc. But if you were to look at any of them and say, in order for me to be a world champion, I must be, okay, well, which one? Because all of them were world champions.
Yes.
And this is, I think, you're right. The message may largely have swung too far back toward the you cannot deal with any difficulty. You must prioritize your internal state over external responsibilities, mindful Mondays and time off Tuesdays and, cookie Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And it's trying to find who's this message for particularly. And I think really trying to get people that are listening to feed it through the filter of, is this for me? Is this for someone else?
Right.
And that point around just go harder, bro, can cause you to have a heart attack laid in bed next to your wife.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, that's something that I probably do need to heed.
Right.
And on the other side, like, am I a useless blob of emotional nothingness?
Right.
Okay, well, maybe I need a bit more David Goggins in my life.
Right.
And I think finding that balance and not having a one-size-fits-all answer.
So how does a man, an individual, pick any individual, how does he find that balance that fits him?
With difficulty. I think for me, it's come with age. It's come with learning myself. It's come with experience of understanding what happened the last time that this situation occurred and how I felt.
Right.
And trying to.
So what would you encourage or advise a young man, 19, 23, who doesn't have the benefit of the age and the experience? And what would you advise him and say, look, this is kind of an area that might help you find your balance?
I think checking in with yourself and not treating your first response as always the correct one. I think the immediate sort of reflex that we often have, especially as young men, young and men, is an issue because that you haven't accumulated enough experience for you to be able to call it gut instinct wisdom.
Right.
What it is probably your default response, which is from childhood, from the group that you grew up in. Maybe it's dad's pattern, maybe it's mum's pattern, maybe it's the teacher and the way that you had to protect yourself in school. It's unlikely that that is the best way for you to deal with things. So I think don't believe everything you think.
Yeah. Can we boil it down to a bouillabaisse and say, look, when you have that thought, don't trust the thought. I need to do this or I need to do that. What if we start asking ourselves why? Why do I need to run 300 miles with 2 broken legs? Because David Goggins said so? Why do I need to do that? What is the purpose? Not why for me, but why do I need to do that to make myself the man I need to be for those around me? Why do I need to say, you know what? I need to spend more time in the backyard with a cigar. Why do I need to do that? And if the answer is because I'm becoming overwhelmed, overtight, losing my balance, losing my focus on what really matters in life, I'm becoming hard to live with to those that I care the most about, to those who I am the most responsible for. So the why is, this will make me a better person for those around me. Me being able to bench press 200 pounds as opposed to 180 pounds does not necessarily make me a better person for those that I'm here to serve. It feeds my ego. So maybe a little more time in the gym doesn't answer the why, and a little more time in the backyard with my kids, that gives me a better answer to the why do I need to make this choice as opposed to that choice. And maybe that's a little more accessible to a young man without a lot of experience.
Summary of the conversation: Chris Williamson and Dewayne Noel. This conversation explores the qualities of being a good man, the challenges of modern masculinity, and actionable advice for improving relationships and personal growth. Dewayne Noel emphasizes service to others, emotional resilience, and finding a balance between strength and vulnerability. 1. The essence of a good man. Key point: a good man prioritizes serving others, not just accumulating wealth. Action: seek to improve the lives of people you interact with, even in small ways like showing kindness or providing encouragement. Daily application: practice leaving every situation or person a little better, whether it's through listening, supporting, or simply acknowledging their efforts. 2. Service versus selfishness. Key point: true purpose is found in selflessness. Serving, protecting, and encouraging others leads to a fulfilling life. Action: shift your focus from personal gain to contributing to others. Serve your family, community, and workplace with intention. Application in business: lead with a servant mentality, prioritizing the growth and well-being of your team over personal accolades. 3. Relationships and communication. Key point: many men struggle with relationships due to a lack of guidance on treating women with respect and understanding. Action: treat women as special and unique. Communicate openly, listen actively, and seek to understand their perspectives without trying to fix everything. Application in relationships: regularly ask your partner how they feel and what they need. Engage in active listening to foster mutual respect. 4. Challenges in modern masculinity. Key point: men often carry unseen burdens and feel societal pressure to suppress emotions. Action: acknowledge your emotional struggles and communicate them with trusted individuals. Seek gratitude and respect rather than external validation. Application in life: cultivate gratitude within your family and circle, showing appreciation for the unspoken sacrifices made by men and others around you. 5. Balance between strength and vulnerability. Key point: finding a personal balance between emotional openness and resilience is crucial. Action: reflect on your responses to challenges. Adjust your approach based on past outcomes to create a more balanced reaction. Daily practice: check in with yourself regularly. Is your response rational and productive, or is it a reaction to past conditioning? 6. Practical advice for young men. Key point: young men should avoid relying solely on reflexive responses and seek to understand their unique balance. Action: develop self-awareness by questioning your instincts and reactions. Test new ways of handling conflict or stress to find what works for you. Application in growth: learn from mentors or older, experienced individuals. Take time to reflect on the outcomes of your decisions and adjust accordingly. Integrating the lessons. In relationships, build stronger connections by treating your partner as special, communicating openly, and showing gratitude. In leadership, adopt a servant leadership style to inspire and empower your team. In personal growth, balance emotional resilience with openness. Recognize when it's necessary to seek help or lean on others. This conversation encourages individuals, particularly men, to reframe their roles and responsibilities in life, prioritizing service, meaningful relationships, and self-improvement over societal expectations or outdated stereotypes. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.